Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Kyle Dean Freeman, a sex and empowerment coach, and I help you move away from a life lived in fear and uncertainty into a life lived out of love and respect and knowing who you are and what you want. Now, today's topic is about confidence, something that a lot of people struggle with, lacking confidence and not feeling confident in many parts of their life. I myself have experienced that at multiple times in my life, and even today, because I continue to push myself to grow, there's things that I lack confidence in, and that's okay. That's part of the journey. But here today, I want to help you gain understanding and awareness of why you lack confidence so you know what you can do to change it and gain the confidence you want in your life. So with that said, like and subscribe to the channel so you can get more information like this, and let's get right into the video. So, why you lack confidence? Well, what does it mean to be confident in the first place? We have to know what that even means. What is our goal? Well, being confident is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something, meaning they have firm trust. So confidence requires trust. It also can be a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So your ability to do a certain skill or job, and understand that you can feel confident in one area of your life, but not in another. Maybe, for example, you feel really confident at the job you do, but not in how you physically look. So confidence comes from trust and knowing who you are and what you are good at. Now, there's 5 main reasons. Now, no matter who you talk to, they'll talk about different things, but I believe there's 5 main reasons why we lack confidence. Now, there's other reasons as well, but these are the primary ones. And I know I wrote 4, but there's 5 here. So, social and cultural conditioning, trauma and abuse, lack of self-awareness, lack of integrity, and ignorance. And so let's get deeper into what each of those means and how they might impact you and what you can do about it. So, number 1, social and cultural conditioning. Now, many of us grew up as children. We all had different childhoods, some good, some bad, some mixed. But the problem is a lot of us had a lot of negative reinforcement from our parents, teachers, classmates, family, and so on that made us feel not good about ourselves. They were very critical, hyper-judgmental, and made us not feel confident. Okay, they constantly belittled us, made us feel we were never good enough. Also, we had media and corporations who made you hate yourself and made you feel like you had to look a certain way, be a certain way, dress a certain way, so that you would buy their products, so that you would get their surgeries, so that you would buy their makeup, because the way you look just isn't good enough naturally. So they need to convince you that you're not good enough and go buy all their products. So making you hate yourself. And also, a lot of us grew up without a positive support system of people who did build us up, and instead it was a circle of negativity of people who didn't deal with their own trauma and their own issues and took it out on us, made us feel not good enough. And so when we're constantly surrounded by negativity, we're not going to feel pretty positive either. We're going to feel pretty negative about ourselves if we're surrounded by other people who don't feel good about themselves. Now, there's also the impact of trauma and abuse that we may have experienced. And this may play into some of the social and cultural conditioning, but some of us have experienced physical, sexual, emotional, or psychological trauma in our lives. And that might have been in childhood, adolescence, or even recently in our adulthood. And because of that, you had your boundaries crossed. Maybe your physical, bodily boundaries. Maybe you said no to doing something and you were forced to do it. Maybe you were just constantly yelled at all the time. And now because of this instilled a lot of fear into your body, a lot of rejection wounds, abandonment wounds, that you're not good enough, that you'll always have to live up to a higher level than what you're doing right now. And so what does this do to someone? What does this do to a kid or an adolescent or even us as an adult? Well, it makes us lack self-esteem, that we're not good enough. Makes us lack self-respect because we feel that, I guess, anyone can just take advantage of me and no one's going to respect my no or what I want in life because no one has ever done that. We live in fear, and are always doing anything to stay safe because we don't want to feel the same feelings of the trauma and abuse from the past. And we're only focused on how others feel to avoid conflict. How are they angry today? Are they upset? What can I do to keep them happy so I could avoid the conflict, right? And so this plays into our inability to feel confident because we're always worried about everyone else and living in fear. Now, the third one is a lack of self-awareness. Now, some of the conditioning that we've experienced, the negative conditioning and reinforcement and criticism, plays into this lack of self-awareness because we didn't have people in our life that built us up, that made us feel like we could trust in ourselves and trust our own opinion. And so what happens is we don't know who we are or how to think for ourselves because we had people in our lives that always made us feel like we were wrong, that we couldn't think for ourselves, that we couldn't trust ourselves, and we always had to ask for advice, ask for someone else to do something, or we were just too dumb, right? And so we don't know the questions of what do I want, especially in this moment in my life? Am I just living based on past opinions and experiences and other people's opinions of me? And who am I? Who am I without all of the opinions of others in my head? The problem is we were never taught to trust our own word and always follow direction from others. And so now that we're adults, it's like we have to problem solve for ourselves. And if we were never taught that, we're not going to have the confidence to go out and trust our own word and take risks. And so if you are unaware of these unconscious behaviors that are driving your life, then you're always going to be wondering, why do I not feel good about myself? Why do I lack confidence? Why do I not know how to do these things? It's because of some of these unconscious conditioning and behaviors that have been implanted into our brains. Next is a lack of integrity. Now, a lot of these things play into one another. A lot of these 5 primary reasons play into one another. Because if we don't know who we are, if we really lack self-awareness and don't feel good about ourselves, well, oftentimes we don't even know where our values lie. What is really important to us? Really, aside from what other people think is important and what they feel we think should be important, what are my values? And if I don't know my values, we're not going to hold to anything. We're not going to hold to our own word because we don't even know what we value, what our true beliefs are. And we're not going to hold strong to that because we don't even know what the goalpost is. So you often in your life likely don't do what you say you're going to do because you don't have integrity. You don't know what your values are. In order to have integrity, you have to have strong values that I believe in this, I don't believe in that. And I'm not going to give in to other people because this is where my value is. I'm not going to worry about them not liking me or rejecting me or whatever it might be. But because we lack confidence, we lack self-awareness, and we don't know where our values are, we often give in to other people. We have poor boundaries, and we constantly don't do what we say we're going to do. We wake up in the morning saying we're going to go to the gym, but we don't feel good, so we just skip it for today. All those little times that we break our own boundaries with ourselves leads to you not trusting your own word and leads to you not respecting yourself and plays into the cycle of not gaining respect from others because people see you can't hold to your own word. It's a great example of if you have a friend who is always late to meeting you for lunch or hanging out or misses meetings, do you think you're going to have trust for that person when they say they'll be there on time the next time? Probably not, because they've shown all the time a record that they're always late, that they never hold to their own word, that they're never on time. Well, the thing is, that friend is you, but to yourself. That you are doing that to yourself every time you never hold to your own word. And because of that, you don't trust yourself and you don't respect yourself because you don't have any integrity. That's the honest truth. And lastly, ignorance. Ignorance is the last one. And this is not always the worst thing, okay? I'm ignorant to a lot of things in my life right now because I'm 31. I haven't learned everything, and there's a lot more for me to do. And in order to step into higher levels in my life, There's new things I need to learn. So ignorance isn't necessarily this bad thing. It's just sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And so if you lack confidence in something, skiing, snowboarding, how to go on a date and pick up a girl or a guy or whatever it might be, you simply might not know enough yet because you weren't taught it. You never learned it, right? A high school student is not going to be confident in doing his taxes for the first time if no one taught him how to do it, if he's trying to learn it for himself for the first time, or if you're going to salsa classes for the first time, you are not going to be confident. We always have to be the fool at some point if we want to grow, if we want to do something new, if we want to learn. We have to be a fool. But it's better to be a fool once and jump into the water and try and learn something than to live out of fear and never try it out of fear of embarrassment or rejection or getting laughed at because we don't know enough yet. So ignorance often leads to fear and a lack of confidence. And so how do we overcome that? Well, we need to learn things, right? If you go to a new job, you're not going to feel confident day one, but maybe over time you do because you learn how to do the job. Or if you're having a conversation on cryptocurrency that you know nothing about, you might not feel confident in that conversation until you start to learn more. And so these are the 5 ways that we often struggle with confidence, okay? Lack of self-awareness, ignorance, social cultural conditioning, trauma and abuse, and a lack of integrity. So how do we build confidence? Well, we have to look at these things and we have to do a lot of the opposite. We have to get a positive support system that builds you up. We have to undo and unlearn negative conditioning with guided education. We have to learn who you are now in your life and what you want in life without others' opinions. And last, we have to create disciplined habits to prove you can trust yourself and develop self-respect. Now, it's easy for me to say these things, but a lot of people don't know how to go about this. They don't know how to implement this, or they feel so down on themselves that they don't even trust themselves to do these things. They're not disciplined, they don't have accountability, and maybe you feel that way. I know I felt that way in parts of my life, that I was like, yeah, I want to do these things, but I don't know how to start, where to go, and I feel like I'm going to end up giving up on myself. And so in order to ensure that we make the actual progress and we don't fall back into these old habits, that is where having all of those things, the positive support system, the education, the guidance, and the individualized plan to ensure that you are getting out of this unconfident, low self-esteem individual into this confident go-getter who really does what they say they're going to do, feels supported, and believes in themselves. It requires having all those things in one area so that we know what to do and we are supported when things go awry. And so that is what I created here in the Empower Me Academy in my coaching program, where I help you to peel the onion away, releasing away the layers that no longer serve you, all those limiting beliefs, all those negative people in your life that are keeping you down, and begin stepping truly into who you are by helping you understand yourself and helping you have the support and encouragement to go do things that are good for you and hold to your own word, with a positive community and positive support to build your confidence, and creating an individualized plan to help you go from where you are now as that unconfident person to where you want to be in just a few weeks. And I see it again and again and again with everyone who comes into the program, because this is something people need. We need to feel supported, and we need to have a plan of what do I need to do to get to where I want to be. And so this is just a picture inside the community. All of these topics here have a ton of trainings and videos under them, on top of a lot of other things that will be provided to you if you feel that this is something that you would love to have to help you build that confidence and get you out of this stuck, unconfident, low self-esteem place in life and into the place that you want to be. So with that, if you feel that you are lacking confidence, that a lot of what I just shared in this video speaks directly to you, and you know something needs to change, well, go to the link below this video and click on it to schedule a consult call with me where we can discuss what you're struggling with, what changes we need to make, and how I can support you in getting to where you want to be. That we can all make change. It's just that some of us, we need help. I've needed help multiple times in my life. Even this past week, I invested in more help in my professional and personal development because we can't do it all alone. We can't. And those of us who think we have to do it all alone, that's ego and also some of our trauma that when we asked for help in the past, people weren't there to support us and they criticized us. In order to undo that, we have to ask for support from people who won't do that, to heal that part of us and recognize it's not that bad, it's not that hard to ask for help, and it'll actually help you get to where you want to be much faster and with much less pain, instead of holding yourself back and thinking you have to do it all on your own. All right? So, if you want to build that confidence, if you want to change your life and get unstuck and get to a place where you do what you say you're going to do, respect yourself and gain respect from others, then book a call below this video or just go to Instagram and send me a direct message and we can get chatting in the DMs about your situation and how we can improve that in just a matter of weeks. With that said, please like and subscribe this video. I hope you enjoyed this topic. And if you want more, please make sure you follow the channel so you can get more of the content that I put out there. With that said, I love you. I'm proud of you. Keep going, keep doing the work, and keep taking action towards your goals. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.